Papa Izzo's process starts with a dream. Here he is, deep in thought, discerning what he needs to do to complete his mission. Before we continue with the next step of the project, it's important to actually delve into his process. He now must consult with Orzo to determine exactly what this kitty cat would like. See him here, establishing the mind link that will give him the necessary information. Now Papa Izzo is ready to begin sketching out his plan. You see here, he is looking at a piece of paper and he's doing the necessary calculations, drawings, and diagrams for his masterpiece. Here is one of his quicker diagrams. Let's take a look at how he can actually draw these 3D figures and what they should look like. He starts with a line. If you remember from middle school, this line follows the y equals mx plus b equation with a slope and y-intercept. The y-intercept here is going to be 4. That's where it crosses the y-axis. The slope is the most important part of a diagram of this nature. In this picture, the line goes up 1 over 2. So its rise over 1 would be 1 over 2. If we replace this 1 over 2 for m in our equation, we'll get y equals 1/2 x plus 4. This is the equation that he starts with. Every side parallel to that then can be drawn. Notice, it's not the y-intercept that helps us with this. Parallel lines always have the same slope. So all 4 of those lines need to have the same up 1 over 2 slope. Connect the dots and we actually have a far more official looking diagram. These are the diagrams he uses when he's actually thinking out what needs to happen. He also can do more detailed diagrams. In this case, the slope is 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, and parallel lines all have the same slope. When he connects these, he can actually get a detailed description of what the frame will look like. Using our fancy 3D software, we can zero in on the frame as well. This is incredibly important because the frame is what holds the entire patio in place. And connecting the frame to itself is extraordinarily important. making sure that is one solid piece. To do this, I want to zero in on just the edge of the frame. If we take a look, these are two wooden blocks. The one on the left is 5.5 inches, and on the right we have 1.7 inches. Because no screw will go through all of that, we use a Kreg pocket hole jig. This will allow us to drill the screw in at an angle, a 10-degree angle to be precise. You may have seen it in episode 1. These are zoomed in pictures of the device we used. Now, what length does we need for the screw? That we can use trigonometry for. Specifically, SOHCAHTOA. That screw makes a nice right angle, with the screw being our hypotenuse. How much wood is anchored by the screw is then the adjacent side. This means we're using cosine. Cosine of 10 degrees equals x over 2 inches will tell us how much wood is anchored by a 2-inch screw. Spoiler alert, it's not enough. If the screw is too small, this becomes a major issue. In Super Chipmunk mode, this is the footage from episode 1 where we use that pocket hole jig. As we pan around the frame, take note of how many times Papa Izzo has used this device on just the frame that sits in the window.